So welcome to the second of a series of user videos on Tiro from Lexical Lab. Now, in the first video, we introduced the system, the upload process, and a basic introduction of key features. In this video, I'm going to guide you through reviewing and editing a contract in the Microsoft Word plugin. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, Tiro is built around a series of watch points, which are key points to note in the contract, and these can be customized for every customer. And we can build a playbook around those watch points. So the playbook allows us to introduce rules, so must-haves, can't-haves, or other important points to note. And we can assign to each watch point a red, amber, green risk score, depending on the client preference. And also we can present output in with a gray icon. So gray icon, giving an example there, is just where we actually summarize the key terms. In this case, this is the scope of the services, and we don't apply a particular risk rule. In the rest of the checklist, you'll see that there are items ticked green. So that's going to mean that the playbook is on that watch point is complied with. And there are also amber warnings and red flags where the playbook isn't applied. So all of these can use industry standards or can be customized for a particular organization's rules and policies. Now the checklist can be filtered, and I'm going to add a filter. So we're just looking at the problematic issues. So these are the red and amber warnings. And these are all displayed here. Now the process of review involves clicking on the issue and then looking at it in more detail and, if necessary, making a change. So I'm going to highlight one issue. So the playbook requires, in this case, that the supplier gives a general indemnity to the customer, and the software has reviewed and found that there are actually indemnities for intellectual property breaches and data protection breaches, but no general indemnity. So therefore it triggers a red flag, and it will take you to the relevant clauses. Now, once you've identified a problem, you can then use Tiro's clause library to help remediate that problem. So in this case, I'm presenting here the client's general wording, standard wording on a general indemnity. And this can be lifted into the contract in whole, or by taking the relevant part and dropping it into the contract in order to redline. And you can use the same functionality for clause drafting, but also standard comments. So these are comments to go into the counterparty or perhaps to the business team. Now the process at the moment of editing involves this drag and drop or cut and paste, and it does require some configuration. And we'll be shortly introducing some automation into the redlining process to further streamline things. So let's just walk through in practice how a change can be made. So I'm in the data protection indemnity issue. Tiro has highlighted some gaps. I can then go in, I'm taken to the relevant clause, which is 9.1. So I'm ready to go in the document. I can then go into my clause library and set the relevant clause. So that might be standard language, fallback language. So I'm going to take this proviso here and copy it and insert it into the contract. So that process is done through a copy and paste or drag and drop, and you take either the whole clause or the part of the drafting that is needed. So you go through that process, and when you get to the end of the redlining, you can then save the document. And by accessing this circular icon here, you can then reanalyze it and update Tiro's analysis.